If you've ever gone out with a guy where you thought you had a great time, but you didn't hear from him again, listen up. Dating is a skill. The way to master the skill is to practice. The way to practice is to understand who you're practicing on. And as your dating coach and translator of all things male, I want to explain today the 3 ways men connect on first dates. If the guys you like the most aren't calling you back, this one's for you. Stick around. I'm Marc, Katz, dating coach for smart, strong, successful women and your personal trainer for love. Welcome to the Love You podcast. Keep listening to discover the 3 ways you have to connect with men on a date. When we're done, I'll let you know how you could apply to Love You to create a passionate relationship that makes you feel safe, heard, and understood. This is a subject that sort of just occurred to me. I was doing one of my Love You Live coaching calls on Tuesday night. And sometimes when you're just talking to someone and they ask you a question, these sort of ideas pop that you've never really thought of before. And I immediately wrote them down and I wanted to share it with you here today. So I don't think anything about this is controversial. I think it's kind of common sense, but it's worth thinking through how men connect in certain ways and how our core strengths don't always cater to what the opposite sex wants. And again, vice versa. There's a lot of guys who don't connect with you in these ways. So number 1, the first way that men connect is right here. And we could talk about how shallow guys are, but men want to feel a mental connection, and there's lots of forms of mental connection. You can be really, really funny, sincere and articulate. You could be really passionate about your work. You could be deep and philosophical and have really interesting ideas. There's lots of ways to connect by the head. We colloquially call people who are drawn to people's big brains as sapiosexuals. I'm really turned on by people who are smart. But there's a downside to this. And I think if you are a woman who identifies particularly as smart, you might discover that you're often talking from a place of intellect. We're comparing experiences, accomplishments, talking about business ideas or politics. You can be a little bit too up here, right? That you never really get to explore other things. And so then he leaves the date in this place where he might have found a psychologist or a business colleague, but he didn't connect with you on a romantic level. And again, flip it over to understand there's guys who do the exact same thing. So certainly not an attack on you, but connecting by your head, a meeting of the minds is fun. When I was single, that was the thing that I liked the most, strangely. That was the thing that drew me most to someone, was that brain. And I sometimes ended up losing sight of the other 2 things I'm about to share with you. The next thing is the heart. As I said, really easy to stay up here in the realm of ideas. One of the things that I try to teach women in Love You is the value of these buzzwords of authenticity and vulnerability. If you're not connecting through the heart, if you're not having real conversation and you're keeping it surface, you're talking about what you just watched on Netflix or that great restaurant that you just went to, or if you're just talking about stuff as opposed to friends, family, flaws, hopes, ideas, dreams, previous relationships, disappointments. These are the things that make you human, right? As opposed to just like some sort of, online dating profile. The ability to relate on a level that's not just ideas, but on a more personal level. And so if you're not connecting through the heart, a guy could find you attractive, a guy could find you intelligent, but he's also going to be missing something. Right? He won't even be able to put his finger on what it is. Right? He may say something like something generic, like, I don't know, I just didn't feel it. Right? There are people who are really good at sweet talking. There are people who are really good at coming across as appealing or sexy or confident. But if you don't know how to have a conversation where you can go deep, And eventually, the person that you're with is going to figure out where's the there. And this is a wall that people put up. It's not a personal attack on you. But if you try to avoid talking about real stuff, because real stuff scares you, because you've been hurt before, because it gets emotional, because you're embarrassed about your past, if you compartmentalize it and just avoid it entirely, there's going to be a big void there. And that's the heart void. And then the third thing that you need to connect with men, also not going to be a terrible surprise, is what's down there. We're going to talk about sex. So we've got the head, we've got the heart, and we've got whatever's going on downstairs. And that is what drives men, right? If we understand the principle of love you, men look for sex and find love. In the process of trying to get laid, they decide if they like you as a human being, platonically. You can, as we stated, connect up here. But if he's not feeling something, right, visceral, unconscious, you immediately put yourself in the friend zone. Right? And that's not your fault. I'm not going to issue any blame on that. But you've gone out with enough guys to say, oh man, I just didn't feel chemistry. He was really nice. I don't know what it is. This is what it is. So understanding that wherever you are on this spectrum, chances are one of those muscles is weaker than the other, right? Either you're not dealing in the realm of ideas and intellect, either you're not being open and vulnerable and making a human intimate connection, or you're not stimulating him visually, right? To make him want to, within 5 seconds, think, oh my God, I want her. I can't wait to see her naked. Again, these are terrible thoughts, but this is, guys do, oh my God, I want her. I can't wait to take her home tonight, right? Fast forwarding to the end of the date. That's not just a visual, that's also an attitude, right? The attitude of understanding that you're a sexual being and you're not just the girl next door or the one who wants to get married and have kids or the career woman who's focused on her accomplishments, that this is a piece of who you are. So we don't have to overstate any of these things, because sometimes people hear this and like, oh, I should just start talking about sex. Oh, I should just dress like a slut. Or with the heart stuff, oh, I should just like turn this into a therapy session and just pour out my heart about how my ex destroyed my faith in men. Nothing about this is extreme. It's just recognizing that if we take this as an article of faith, that people connect here, here, and down here. How do you bring that energy to a date? And just be conscious of bolstering the thing that you tend to do the least, right? So that a guy is not going to lose some sort of connection with you that he might have with somebody else. I hope that's helpful. I think it's a really interesting idea. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. My name is Marc Katz. Thanks for tuning into the Love You podcast. For more episodes like this on YouTube, click on the subscribe button and ring the bell. Choose all to ensure you get notified when new content comes out. If you're listening to the audio, please share an honest review on Apple. More reviews equals more awareness of the Love You podcast and more love in the world. And if you want to have an easy relationship that makes you feel safe, heard, and understood, look for the link below or go to www.evanmarckatz.com to watch my free video on how to gain confidence, attract quality men, and fix your broken man picker. When you're done, you could apply to Love You Live to join hundreds of other smart, strong, successful women from around the world in a coaching community where women like you actually get the unconditional love that you deserve. I'll see you there.